Hey, I'm Jonathan.
And I'm sad because the Tar Heels lost. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about WrestleMania.
We're also going to be talking about Raw after WrestleMania. This is Project Polygon. Hey, welcome to Project Polygon. Today we're going to be talking about WrestleMania. Good old WWE, the Super Bowl of sports entertainment. The showcase of the immortals, all that stuff.
Why do you have to say Super Bowl?
Super.
I mean, especially right after the night.
Okay, all right. The World Series of, I don't know. You know what I mean.
Yeah, that's fine.
How do you think the event went as a whole?
It had good wrestling, but don't get me wrong about this. It did have good wrestling. The storylines didn't have any closure. Whenever I watched it, I was just like, first off, the main event I didn't even care for. Didn't care if anybody ran in, anything like that. I just never cared for it to begin with. But I just felt like as the matches were going on and the bookings of these matches, you know, the endings, I just thought were very questionable. And I was just like, well, what are they going to do, you know? So why was there even a 7-man ladder match for the Intercontinental title? Why was the United States Championship on the pre-show?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's called devaluing the titles.
Okay, so I was actually just about to bring that up. So I'm looking at it right now. The first match of the pre-show was Kalisto versus Ryback for the United States Championship. Kalisto being the champion, Ryback being the challenger. Did you watch the pre-show?
Yeah.
So
it was a good match.
It was a good match, and you put the words in my mouth. You took the words right out of my mouth. That match should not be on the pre-show. It's for a United States Championship. It should be on the main card. Whether it's first on the card or midway through the card, it's a championship title. It should be on the main card.
Right. It's a trend, you know. It happens almost every pay-per-view. Either the Intercontinental title or the United States title is on the pre-show.
And you're right. It's devaluing. That's what it is. It's honestly, in my opinion, it's a disrespect to all the people who have held the United States title. Even though it's been devalued over the recent years, the title itself, it's still disrespectful to have your United States champion defending the title on the pre-show.
You got to understand, like, when you look back for those histories, you know, the Intercontinental title, man, Stone Cold used to fight The Rock over the Intercontinental title. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know that, but they used to feud over the Intercontinental title, and now it is completely gone. I mean, you know, the value of it as.
So let's move on to an atrocious match that I'm glad did not make it onto the main card. And that is the Total Divas versus Team Bad and Blonde. A 10-woman tag match with, at the time, Divas, the Team Total Divas, because, you know, they're on the TV show. So you had Brie Bella, Eva Marie, Paige, Natalya, and Alicia Fox versus Naomi, Tamina, Lana, Summer Rae, and Emma. What did you think about this match?
I didn't think nothing of it.
I didn't either.
But that was probably when I went outside to just look at the sky.
Yeah. I mean, we can.
I'd rather watch paint drying. I mean, I don't know. There's
just no build up to it. And half the people in the ring that were being featured, like Brie Bella, and Summer Rae and Eva Marie, they are not good athletes. They are not good wrestlers.
No.
Let's move on to the third match of the pre-show. And you know your pre-show is too long when you have 3 matches. The Usos versus the Dudley Boyz. Anything about this match stick out to you?
It's sad to see the Dudley Boyz fighting at WrestleMania in a pre-show.
I agree. They can still put on good matches. They can still tell a story.
But what does that mean? Well, what does it mean though? For the Usos or whatever? What are they going to do? Nothing.
Nothing.
Have they done anything in the past year?
No, they haven't.
See, I mean, that's what I mean. It's like we got a lot of these matches, and it doesn't have good storylines with it, and doesn't have good stipulations, and it doesn't take them anywhere. So
the Usos will eventually be pushed into another title run. I'm not a fan of the Usos. Every Usos match feels exactly the same to me.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. Never have been. And that was the pre-show. I mean, I guess with Kalisto and Ryback, you had a solid wrestling match, but it's for the U.S. title and it's on the pre-show.
that was by far the entertaining of the 3.
I agree.
The most entertaining.
And then we move on to the main card. We move on to the WrestleMania card. And I think WrestleMania knocked it out of the ballpark with their opening match, the 7-man ladder match for the IC title.
Would you say that was the best match of the night?
The IC title, I would say, is the second best match of the night, but it set the pace for a potentially good night. The ladder match, it had a lot of highlights and big spots like these ladder matches usually have. But the big surprise was the ending of this match, the outcome. What did you think of Zack Ryder leaving WrestleMania with the IC title?
It was stupid. It was stupid because, first off, he hasn't been on TV in months. Another thing is that, well, I mean, you look at the night and he loses. I've never been a big fan of winning. If you, they got a WWE Network now, and it's only $10 a month, so I mean, you get your money's. Yeah, I'm sorry, $9.99. I mean, you get your money's worth. But if this happened 10 years ago, and you just paid $60 to watch a guy fight in this awesome ladder match at WrestleMania, only to lose his title the next night, I mean, kind of questions why you even watched it,
Yeah.
Just don't have no logic to me.
I feel like I was excited to see Zack Ryder win the championship. I've always been a fan of Zack Ryder. To me, it just kind of felt like they picked the most unpredictable outcome to throw at people. I think I thought Kevin Owens was going to retain, and I thought Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn would start.
Have a feud.
We're gonna start a feud over the IC title after WrestleMania, but I thought Owens would retain. But I was okay with Zack Ryder winning because as soon as he won, I said, this opens up more opportunities for people to make their way into the mid-card and challenge for the IC title.
Well, it's kind of like you miss chances to build stars because I know a lot of your people's injured or whatnot, but what's so weird is that when you show somebody who doesn't even watch wrestling 10 wrestlers from the 90s, they will be able to tell you who they are. And they probably can't do anybody today. And that pretty much goes to show you that they're not promoting these guys like they should. Or they dropped the ball on them, you know?
I agree. Next match on the card was Chris Jericho versus AJ Styles, Y2J versus the Phenomenal One. What do you think of this match?
It was good. I didn't see Jericho winning, but I mean, after you watch tonight, you know, he got the number one contender against Roman Reigns, and dude, Roman Reigns is going to get booed out of the arena against AJ Styles.
It doesn't matter who Roman Reigns is wrestling.
That's true. But especially with it being AJ Styles. Needless to say that AJ Styles probably won't win because in Vince McMahon's eyes, he's a small guy. You know what I mean? And we all know that. We all know how he hates small guys. But
I think it was a good wrestling match. And these two have been going at it for weeks, and they've put on solid matches week after week, show after show, Raw and SmackDown. And they put on another good match at WrestleMania. The problem that I had with this match happening in the first place is that they had already wrestled 3 times on free TV.
Yeah.
And you book these guys in a 4th match against each other at WrestleMania, like it's going to be any different. Chris Jericho winning was a surprise, but it didn't hurt. A loss to Chris Jericho won't hurt AJ Styles. The New Day versus the League of Nations, 3-on-3 tag match. What'd you think?
No.
I
ain't talking about it.
Do you like the New Day?
Yeah, I love them.
I love the New Day. Their intro was great, coming out of the giant Bootios box.
Yeah.
League of Nations, I like.
They had no direction, though, if you ask me.
I like Wade.
They're not being booked right. You watched tonight, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to spoil it for you.
The titles weren't even on the line. It was just a random tag match.
Well, what it was, the big picture was it was a chance to get Shawn Michaels and Foley and Austin out there, you know.
Foley, Michaels, and Austin coming down, stunning League of Nations, chugging beers. I like that. Everyone likes it. Everyone likes a little bit of nostalgia and fun, especially involving those 3 legends. The problem that I had with that segment is that they could have used those 3 legends to elevate the New Day even more. They could have put over the New Day even more than they're already over. But instead, you had Xavier Woods in playing around and dancing in front of Stone Cold and gets a Stone Cold Stunner, and which that's what Stone Cold does. And I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, I did.
But you can find some way to put those 3 guys over even more than they already are. Have them in the ring, slamming beer cans together with all the rest of the guys, having a good time, whatever, But, it is what it is. Stone Cold being Stone Cold, that's what people paid to see, right?
Yeah.
The biggest disappointment out of the whole night for me was Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose in a street fight.
It didn't make sense. All right, first, let's go back to the WrestleMania when Undertaker lost. What, about 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago.
All right. If you go back a little bit further, he fought Randy Orton whenever Randy Orton was up and coming.
Mm-hmm.
That was the perfect time for him to lose, for the streak to end. But then you get Brock Lesnar, a part-timer, right? You get him back, and you have him beat The Undertaker. And to me, it just I don't know, it don't make no sense. It's kind of like, and then you had Dean Ambrose, who everybody likes, and, you know, he's got you would think he's got a good future in wrestling. You have him lose to Brock Lesnar, a part-timer. And Brock Lesnar's not going to come on Raw and challenge for no titles or anything like that. So basically, it's kind of like, I don't know, when are they going to start putting people over? You know? Like, when is Brock Lesnar going to put somebody over?
The problem that I don't have with this match is that Dean will still come out looking strong because he lost to the guy who beat The Undertaker. No one beats Brock Lesnar. He lost to the guy who beat The Undertaker after taking 13 suplexes and getting F5'd onto a stack of chairs. He looked like a tough guy going down to Brock Lesnar. So I don't think it's necessarily a loss, but I would have liked to see Dean Ambrose come out over Lesnar myself. So let's move on to my personal match of the night, the triple threat women's match.
That was going to be mine.
Charlotte versus Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks for the women's championship. Keyword women's. No more divas.
I'm glad they did that.
Women's championship. First of all, before we start talking about the match, what did you think about the new belt?
It's better than the butterfly belt.
Definitely better than the butterfly. What I liked about it is that it looks like the men's World Heavyweight Championship belt, but it's white. It's
white
not.
and red.
They're not making a different, pretty-looking belt for these women. It looks like a championship belt. What did you think about the match?
I loved it. It was like, I don't know, they had a lot of good chemistry of those three, especially Sasha Banks, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she should have won, but it didn't really bother me that she didn't, because it kind of establishes that Charlotte is the top tier of that division, you know.
Yeah.
And it's okay because that adds, like we talked about earlier, that adds prestige to the title.
I was also predicting that Sasha was going to win, but I was okay. I was okay with any of them winning. I didn't care if Charlotte retained, if Becky won, or if Sasha won. I didn't care. I like all three of them, and all three of them always put on a good wrestling match. Yeah. But the crowd was hot for that match. It was a great wrestling match.
I think it sets up Charlotte versus Sasha Banks.
I think it will too.
Next.
I think it will too. I thought it was a great match. It was the Hell in a Cell, Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker. And I know you're upset about this. We talked about this finish last night. You and I did.
Yeah. I'm mad about it. I just don't understand it. Like, what do you get out of The Undertaker winning? We don't have any continuation of a story. And I know he controlled Raw tonight. But, I mean, where does it go from there? And I still hope. I wanted a brand split, man. I wanted it.
Yeah.
I wanted it because guys like, you know, you look at the NXT guys, like Apollo Crews that debuted tonight on Raw, or Finn Balor, Samoa Joe. They could have a platform to build up their career. You got too many hours invested into one crop of wrestlers, you know what I'm saying, as a whole. And when you divide those, you can build wrestlers up on two different shows.
The match itself, it was not great match because, let's face it, The Undertaker's getting old.
Mm-hmm.
And Shane McMahon's not a wrestler.
Yeah, and he's getting old too.
And what you had was just two guys brawling inside of a cage, which then made its way outside of the cage. And the highlight of the night that will be replayed more than anything is Shane McMahon diving off the top of the cell, which is a huge spot, especially for a non-wrestler like Shane McMahon. What I didn't
like the way it was booked.
What I didn't like about it, it was booked horribly from the very beginning. It never made sense. What I didn't like about it is this could have been a huge platform to set up a Cena versus Taker match. Undertaker's go home match has got to be Undertaker versus John Cena. I can't think of any other match unless, and this may be reaching, but this is what I was really hoping for, was a Finn Balor dressed down in his demon war paint and all that crazy stuff that he does. Finn Balor interfering in that match.
Mm-hmm.
Finn Balor versus The Undertaker would be a great match because you've got The Undertaker, the dead man. Think about Balor debuting with the Balor Club or whatever they're going to call those other guys coming in.
Any way you looked at it, if you didn't want Shane to win, which obviously they didn't, you should have had some type of interference, outside interference.
Let's move on. Is there anything you want to say about the Andre the Giant Battle Royal? Excuse me.
Baron Corbin is going to be good.
I agree. If I could say just three things about the Battle Royal. Well, okay. Let me say three things. One, Baron Corbin. That's all that needs to be said. Baron Corbin. Two, Diamond Dallas Page. Because it's always fun seeing DDP, even if he can't move around the ring. And three, this match could have been on the pre-show. The U.S. title could have been on the main card. We have our favorite come around whenever he can collect a paycheck, former WWE superstar.
He's almost around more than the Undertaker is.
That's true. But at least the Undertaker, when he does come around, he's involved in some kind of matches. So The Rock comes back just to let everyone know that there's a new attendance record. And then Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, and Eric Rowan come down. And I love the Wyatt family. Wyatt family. Love Bray Wyatt. I love Luke Harper. I'm upset that he was hurt.
What are they doing with him?
Well, they brought them down so that The Rock could trash talk them. I will say this. The Rock put them over, saying that he had been watching Bray Wyatt, and, that Bray was great, all this stuff. But then he's in a 6-second match with Eric Rowan. 6-second match. The Wyatt family, they were about to attack The Rock when our favorite WWE Superman made his long-awaited return to aid The Rock in fighting off all three members of the Wyatt family. Okay, so Triple H, who had a great entrance with Stephanie, reading the monologue and all the masks and everything. I thought it was great. Triple H, WWE Champion, who can still put on a good wrestling match, by the way, versus Roman Reigns, who was booed out of the building.
Yeah.
WWE's babyface that they're pushing to the top of the mountain as hard as they can.
They're pushing them to the moon.
Booed out of the building. How many nights does he have to get booed? How many arenas does he have to get booed out of before they say, hey, maybe people don't like him?
We're talking about the WWE here. Exactly. And their riders.
Like we all know, as we all know, and as we all predicted, Roman Reigns went over Triple H, won the championship, and was booed. Is there anything...
And he was booed tonight, too.
Oh, yeah. Is there anything about this match that you even care to talk about?
Well, I'm glad it's over, you know. But you knew Roman Reigns was going to win. Because Triple H is not going to wrestle full time, and I don't even think it was supposed to be Triple H to begin with. I could be mistaken it. I don't know. But I think with all the injuries and everything, he stepped up and took over. But the only good thing about it is that now we can look forward to AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns.
That's true.
But in terms of storyline or whatever, nobody really cared, you know. Like I said, I wasn't invested in it, you know. And if you ask me, well, I guess not now, but if you would have told me before WrestleMania that the Hell in a Cell would have been the main event, I would have agreed with you.
Okay. Well, I mean, that was WrestleMania. Hopefully, WrestleMania 33 is better. Hopefully, we have a triple threat match in the main event next year for the WWE Championship.
Who you got? Who you think's going to be it? 1 year prediction.
1 year prediction. Main event for the WWE Championship is going to be a Shield reunion. I'm going to go with Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins in the main event of WrestleMania 33, with Seth Rollins going over. Seth Rollins is the future of the company. What do you got for WrestleMania 33?
I would say it's just going to be a normal one-on-one match. And I want to say going into WrestleMania, Seth Rollins will be the champion. And the Royal Rumble winner will be Kevin Owens. It's going to be Kevin Owens. What you think about that? It's a good match, isn't it?
I like it.
Come on, you'd rather watch that than Roman Reigns than what?
I would, but I was actually thinking tonight, after Cesaro made his return, that I would like to see Cesaro versus Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
That would be good wrestling. We'll do a separate video for Raw. How about that?
All right.
Okay. We'll go ahead and call it here for Project Polygon WrestleMania edition. And then we'll pick up on a new video, a separate video for Project Polygon Raw After Mania edition. What do you think?
All right, sounds good.
Thanks everyone for watching. Look out for Raw After Mania coming out very shortly after this video.